This is not just any ordinary footage. What you are about to witness is something that has left even the most seasoned investigators and skeptics at a loss for words. These images, these sounds were captured late one night in a place that many believed to be empty, forgotten and silent. But as you'll soon see, the walls of this school have stories to tell. Stories that have never been heard until now. This is real footage, unaltered and untouched, preserved exactly as it was found. The flickering light you see in the window is not a trick of the camera, nor a product of faulty wiring. It is the first sign that something was happening inside, something that defies explanation. The VHS tape you see here, labelled simply as real footage, was discovered under mysterious circumstances, hidden away in a dusty corner, as if someone, or something, didn't want it to be found. This tape was recovered from a school that was on the verge of being demolished. The building had stood for decades, its halls echoing with the laughter and footsteps of generations of students. But as the years passed, the laughter faded and the school was left to decay. When demolition crews arrived, they expected to find nothing more than crumbling walls and forgotten memories. Instead, they stumbled upon this tape, buried beneath layers of dust and debris. The worker who found it described a strange chill in the air, as if the building itself was reluctant to let go of its secrets. The hallway where the tape was discovered was marked for demolition, but for a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. The tape was placed in a box, almost as an afterthought, but its contents would soon become the subject of intense speculation and fear. What you're about to see is not a dramatization. There are no actors, no special effects, and no scripts. The footage you will witness was captured by security cameras that were still operational, despite the building's state of disrepair. In the grainy images, you'll notice a dark hallway, illuminated only by the occasional flicker of failing lights. But look closer and you'll see something else, a blurry figure, barely visible, moving in ways that defy logic. Investigators have reviewed this footage countless times, searching for a rational explanation, but none has been found. The events that unfold on this tape remain true and unexplained, challenging everything we think we know about the world around us. These events were captured not only on security cameras, but also corroborated by the testimony of those who were there that night, janitors, security guards, and even a few former students who returned to say goodbye to their old school. Their accounts are chilling, their voices trembling as they recall what they saw and heard. Some have refused to speak about it ever again. As you watch this footage, remember that what you are seeing is not fiction. It is a record of something that truly happened, something that remains unexplained to this day. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, as the images and sounds you are about to experience may be disturbing to some viewers. Prepare yourself, for the story you are about to witness will challenge your understanding of reality and may leave you questioning what is possible in the shadows of forgotten places. For weeks, construction workers reported strange occurrences, whispers in the empty halls, messages appearing overnight, and a growing sense of dread. This is their story. Northgate Elementary, a shell of its former self, once filled with laughter, now silence, set for demolition, but some things refused to rest. The demolition crew first noticed strange scratching sounds coming from within the walls. They dismissed it as old pipes or rodents. But then it happened. The name Michael appeared on the chalkboard. Michael, a student who vanished decades ago and was never found. Word spread quickly. Workers shared stories, unexplained noises, cold spots, the feeling of being watched. Something wasn't right. One hallway in particular became a hotbed of activity. Whispers, faint, unintelligible, seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Some workers refused to enter alone. Each morning, new messages appeared on classroom chalkboards. Who are you? Where is Michael? The answers only deepened the mystery. The atmosphere at Northgate changed almost overnight. What was once a place filled with laughter, learning, and the innocent chaos of school life now felt heavy and uncertain. A palpable sense of dread hung in the air, settling over the classrooms and hallways like a thick, invisible fog. Teachers who once stayed late to grade papers or decorate bulletin boards now hurried to pack up their things before the sun dipped below the horizon. The janitor, who used to whistle as he swept the halls, now moved quickly and quietly, glancing over his shoulder at every creak and groan of the old building. It wasn't just the adults who felt it. Students too sensed the shift. Whispers of strange happenings spread like wildfire, books tumbling from shelves, lockers slamming shut on their own, and the unmistakable chill that seemed to follow certain footsteps. The playful pranks of a ghost, which had once been a source of giggles and wide-eyed wonder, were quickly becoming something more sinister. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and the once comforting hum of fluorescent lights now buzzed with an uneasy energy. Rumours grew with each passing day. Some said they saw a figure darting between classrooms after hours, while others swore they heard faint, sorrowful cries echoing through the gymnasium late at night. The bravest students dared each other to stay after school, but even they found their courage faltering as the sun set and the school's corners grew darker. The sense of community that had always defined Northgate was slowly being replaced by suspicion and fear. No one knew what was coming next, but everyone could feel it. Something at Northgate had changed, and it was only getting worse. The strange events at Northgate brought Michael's case back into the spotlight, a cold case reopened after decades of inactivity. Michael Johnson, a bright 10-year-old, full of life and a love for drawing, vanished without a trace. His mother never gave up hope, clinging to the belief that he was still out there, somewhere. Northgate seemed like any other small town. But, beneath the surface, secrets festered, whispers of what really happened. The original investigation, despite the best efforts of the city's most dedicated detectives, yielded no answers. The case files grew thicker, but the evidence remained thin, and every promising lead seemed to dissolve into nothingness. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and eventually years slipped by. The city moved on, but for those who had been touched by the mystery, the questions never faded. The detective, haunted by the unsolved case, would often revisit the old files, searching for something, anything, that might have been missed. Each time, the same sense of frustration and disappointment would settle in. The trail had gone cold, and the hope of resolution seemed to fade with every passing year. But then, just as the case was about to be consigned to the archives of forgotten mysteries, something unexpected happened. News broke of a strange incident at Northgate Elementary, a place that, until then, had never been connected to the original investigation. The details were vague at first, but there was something about the circumstances that felt eerily familiar. Whispers began to circulate among the detectives. Could this be the break they had been waiting for? Was it possible that after all this time a new lead had finally emerged? The detective's heart raced as the reports came in. Memories of the old case flooded back, sharper and more urgent than ever. There was a renewed sense of purpose, a glimmer of hope that the truth might finally come to light. The detective gathered the team, determined to follow this new thread wherever it might lead. The city, too, seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see if the mystery that had haunted it for so long was finally on the verge of being solved. The investigation was about to begin again, and this time they would not rest until they uncovered the answers that had eluded them for so many years. Determined to capture the strange phenomena, the crew set a trap. Cameras and sensors were placed throughout the empty school. Night fell, the cameras watched, hours passed, silence, then activity. Toy car moved across the floor. A sudden drop in temperature recorded, but no figure was ever seen. As morning came, the crew returned to the school. To their surprise, what they found sent chills down their spines. A child's fingerprint. Despite the eerie events, the decision was made to raze Northgate to the ground. But some things cannot be buried so easily. Was Michael's spirit trying to communicate? Did the events at Northgate offer answers? Or did they only lead to more questions? The next day, a final message was found. Amidst the debris, a thank you for hearing his whispers.